Hello, you're welcome to lesson 21 of our grade 1 class. In this lesson, I'll be talking about music terms in science. My name is Lieutenant Ernest Emediego. Before I go into the lesson for today, a quick recap of what we studied last week. Last week, we looked at the music intervals by numbers, and then you talked about unism if two notes are on the same pitch, because when you talk about interval, remember, you're talking about the distance between two notes. So if those two notes are on the same pitch, on the same line, or on the same space on your stave, then you say that is unison. Then you have a second. Within a second, you have either a minor second or a major second, depending on if the distance is either one semitone or two semitones. Then you have a third, and you have the minor third, the major third. You have the perfect fourth. You have the augmented fourth. You have the perfect fifth. You have the minor sixth, the major sixth, the minor seventh, the major seventh, and then you have the octave. So where you have the distance between a note and its upper note or its lower note. So that's like an octave. It's 12 semitones, or what you call 12 half steps. So if you're not very clear with this topic, you want to go back to the last class you had and ensure that you kind of wrap up and mop up that particular topic before coming back to join us in this class. But that being said, we now go to what we have today, which is musical terms in science. Our learning objective will be to identify the meaning of relevant music terms and to interpret music science appropriate for your level, that is for grade 1. That simply means that the music science and terms that we will be identifying today is not exhaustive. It's not the entire. It's not everything. It means there are still other music terms and signs. So as you go along the grade, as you go higher in your grades, go to grade 2, you get to grade 3, you'll be seeing other more advanced types of forms of music terms and signs. So one thing I want to say before going into the music terms and signs that are relevant for your grade is music is not, it's an art. All right, it's an art. Music is an art. So it means that when one is performing music, there are directions, there are terms, there are signs. It's just like when you are driving. You don't drive on the same speed except if you're on the motorway. But I mean, if you're not on, even if you're on the motorway, sometimes you may need to slow down your speed. Sometimes if you want to take a turn, you need to reduce your speed. Sometimes you need to go fast. Sometimes you need to go slow. Sometimes you need to stop. So, and there are signs on the road that kind of tells you at this place you need to stop. You see the stop sign. Other signs will tell you slow down, you're approaching a bend. So you see the road sign, the road markings. Other signs like the traffic light will tell you when to stop, when to get ready, and when to go. So it's just the same thing in music. When you read music, there are terms and signs and marks that tells you how to perform a piece of music. And so we'll be looking at these terms and signs. And as we look at these terms and signs, as we approach them, we will be discussing how they can be implemented in music. All right, that's very, very important. So it's not just for you to have the knowledge because you want to pass an exam, but rather it's for you to know how to implement them also when you meet them, encounter them in your day-to-day singing or when you are performing a piece of music. And also when you start composing, it helps you to know when to use these terms and signs depending on what you want to achieve. So I'm going to start on the terms that deals with tempo. In music, you must have known in your previous lessons that when we talk about tempo, when we talk about tempo, we are referring to the speed of music, the speed of music. So most of, almost all the terms and signs we were talking about are Italian language. So those of you that are from Italy, you may, this is an advantage to you. You could just pass this with haze because they are all Latin, they are all Italian terms. So adagio means slowly. So when you see a piece of music with adagio, it means sing that piece of music slowly. Andante means at a walking pace. at a walking pace. It's like, you're just going 1 2 1 2 1. When you are walking, you are not in a haste. You are not. It's not slowly. It's a bit. It's not as if you are kind of doing a slow motion. No, but you are just at a walking pace. And then moderato means at a moderate speed. That means it's not at a walking pace, but it's not at a fast pace. So you have to get the speed at a moderate speed, but you have the allegro. Allegro means quick, lively, and fast. It means make it fast. 1 2 1 2. Make it fast, make it lively. Acelerando, or what is represented by ACCEL, ACCEL. Sometimes you could just see ACCEL. You may not see. They may not write the full name. They can just give the abbreviation. It means make the music to gradually become faster. All right. So you have the acelerando. It means from that point where you see the acelerando, start increasing your speed. If you are driving a car, it means start pressing your accelerator. Let it start increasing. Okay. And then you gradually make the music become faster. Allegretto means moderately fast. You will see that allegretto is derived from allegro. So the allegro, the difference there is that allegro is fast, allegretto is moderately fast. Now we continue with terms that deals with tempo, speed. Rollatando, or abbreviated as roll, is the opposite of acelerando, that is gradually becoming slow. Remember, acelerando is what? Gradually becoming fast. Rollatando or retardando, because we have rollatando or you have retardando. These are all the same, they all mean the same thing. So when you see any of them, it still means gradually becoming slow. Then you have retenuto or return or read, depending on. So in your exam, they could give you the abbreviation or the full word. Although in most cases you may get the abbreviation to save space. So please don't just learn the word, also learn the abbreviation. So retenuto means immediately slower. So it means it's not gradual. It's just like you are coming to somewhere and you need to just press your brake and start slowing down almost immediately. So immediately you get to that point, become slow. So that's what retenuto means. Then you have a tempo. A tempo means return to the former speed, return to the original speed. So what that simply means is that maybe you have been, allow me to use a motor car because I think that will make sense. So let's say you are running at 40 miles per hour and you get to a place where they say slow down, go to 20 miles, go to even 10 miles, and then you are coming out of that area and they say, okay, now you can return back to the national speed, and then maybe for that area the national speed is 40, and then you go back to 40 miles per hour. So you see, you were coming from 40 miles per hour, something happened in the middle, you slowed down, and then eventually when you crossed that area where there are some maybe things or instructions that made you to slow down, you are now allowed to continue at your former speed, which is 40 miles per hour. The same thing in music. You have a speed that you have maintained from the beginning. You get to a point, maybe because of other signs that ask you to slow down or to make it faster or quicker or something, and then you pass those areas of music, you now get to the point where it says a tempo. It means go back to the former speed where you started with. Whatever that former speed is, whether it is slow or fast, go back to it. So that's the meaning of a tempo. Now we're going to switch to signs and terms, talking to terms rather, terms. These are terms, not signs, please. I'm talking about terms. Terms on styles and direction, because music has style, music has direction. Okay? You don't just sing or perform a piece of music the way you like. No, the composer gives you instruction on how you should execute or perform the piece of music. So the first one, and remember, this is just what is appropriate for your level. It doesn't mean it's only 4 terms or 5 terms we have on study. There are plethora of them, but it's just that each level, each grade, you'll be introduced to a new set of terms. So cantabile. Cantabile means in a singing style. Just in a singing style, in a singing style. That's what cantabile means. Then when you see da capo means go back to the beginning. So you are doing a piece of music and then you see DC. It means from that place where you see DC, stop and return back to the beginning and start the music again from the beginning. Sometimes you see fine. Fine means finish actually. It means the end. So anywhere you see fine, F-I-N-E in music, it means that is where the music ends. In other cases, you may see how fine. Al means to the, then fine means hand. So for example, if you see an instruction that tells you how fine, it means from this point start performing this music till you get to the end. And the end, how will I know that I've gotten to the end? I will see a fine sign, F-I-N. So if you see I'll fine, then expect to see a fine sign somewhere, because that I'll fine is only telling you that keep going until you get to the end, and the end will be, you will recognize the end when you see the fine sign. Then you have diagonal. DS is represented as DS, diagonal. It means from the sign, all right. uh, Unfortunately I didn't put the sign there, but apologies. I'll look for how to, but you can just Google it online and you get it. So it is from the sign. That is called a signal sign. You see a signal sign. So from that signal sign, it means, so when you see DS in the piece of music, start going. It's different from the da capo. Da capo means just go back to the beginning, but dal means go back to where you see that signal sign and start performing the music from there again. The signal sign may be in the beginning, or it may be anywhere in between the music. So, but once you see this diagonal, it means go back to where you see uh, the signal sign and then continue the music from there. More on style and direction, you have leggero. Leggero is means sing. It means lightly. Don't let it be too heavy. Sing in a light manner. Legato means well connected, smooth singing. That means attach your notes together. Don't break the words. Let the words flow, in a flowing style. You are joining the words together, that's legato. But the opposite of legato is staccato. Staccato means you are detaching the note, short and detached. Pam, 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 pam. So that's like staccato. Legato will be pam, 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 pam. You are joining everything, connecting them. But staccato will be pam, pam, pam. Okay. Then you have those. Those simply means soft. So if you want somebody to, maybe a part of the music, they want you to perform it in a very soft, smooth manner, they'll put a dose sign there, a dose term there. Then you have, now we have terms on volume. So you see, we've talked about terms on speed, because those are the things that define, music. Remember, tempo, pitch, and timbre. Tempo is the speed, pitch is the volume. All right, sorry, tempo, pitch, amplitude. So pitch is the height or the depth of the note. Then the amplitude is the volume. All right, so you have to know how loud your music should be. What's the volume? Very, very important. And these are the popular ones that we have there that are relevant for your grade. We have the fourth. The fourth means loud. Sing loudly. Then you have fortissimo. Remember, fortissimo is coming from fourth. The only difference is the simo. So anytime you see simo in music, it means very. Simo, very. Then whatever fourth is, so whatever follows after the simo. So for example, fourth comes before the simo, so it means simo is very, and fourth is loud, so it means very loud. Then mezzo means moderately. So remember this. If you can remember these pretexts and also the if you can remember these what will I call them now? These reference words. I've talked about simo, very. Then I'm talking about mezzo. It means moderately. Okay, so forte means loud. So mezzo forte, moderately loud. Piano means soft. You say play soft, sing soft. Piano. Pianissimo, very soft. Mezzosimo, moderately soft. Moderately soft. So it means don't make it loud, soft. Make your soft. Very okay, so let's continue with terms on volumes. Well, so crescendo means gradually becoming louder. Crescendo, it's gradually becoming louder. It's swelling, the voices are swelling, it's gradually becoming louder. Decrescendo means it's gradually becoming softer. So it's not soft. You don't just mash a break all of a sudden. No, you have to kind of diminish it. All right. That's why that's the next one. Diminuendo. It's the same thing as the crescendo. So the crescendo, diminuendo, they mean the same thing. Gradually becoming softer, 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 softer until it becomes soft. So don't just go to from let's say you are in mezzo forte, very loud, and then you are told in the instruction to now apply the crescendo. You don't just go from mezzo forte to piano. You have to gradually descend, gradually make it become softer until eventually land in piano or pianissimo or mezzo piano. So that is all on terms on speed, on style, and on volume. So the last section we are going to look at now is music signs. So these are the signs. Some of these signs are what we've repeated before in the terms, because some of these terms have signs. So sometimes in music they only put the signs there, they won't say anything. So if you see the signs, you should be able to interpret it. Sometimes they won't put the sign, they will put the term. So whether it's a term or a sign, you should be able to interpret whatever you see there. So crescendo, we've talked about crescendo. The sign is the less than sign. So just know your less than in mathematics. That means it's gradually becoming louder. That is why you see the two triangle opening up towards your right. It's becoming louder. The triangle is opening up to. It means crescendo. It's gradually swelling. All right. The opposite is the crescendo or diminuendo. You see, it's your greater than sign in mathematics. The triangles or the angles are gradually closing up. So that is gradually becoming softer. Then we talked about staccato. So when you see a dot on top of a musical note, that dot is staccato. So it means don't detach those two notes. Don't sing them. Don't slow them. Don't sing them in a connected way. Make them brisk and sing. Actually, it means in the real time, it means, of course, the meaning means short term, but in performance, it means only sing half of that note and observe the other half as a rest. That's what it means. All right, so that's staccato. Then you see the slow sign. The slow sign is used when you want to play a note smoothly. You want to play, you want to sing or play over two notes that are not on the same pitch. Like if you see, so if they're on the same pitch, then it's called a tie. If they're not on the same pitch, it is called a staccato. So note the difference. Same pitch is a tie, different pitch is a staccato. Sorry, it's a slow. So it's a slow. So if you are giving in an exam, is it on the same pitch? Yes, okay, that's a tie. But the implication is when you play one note, you have to hold it until you play the other note. So it's like a legato. You are playing it smoothly, connecting it to the next note. All right. So the next sign we have here is what we call the fermata. The fermata is is normally the sign is represented as something that looks like an eye. The human eye. You could see the human eye. All right. So it can either be above a note, the head of a note, or below the head of a note. That means pause. It's called fermata. It means pause. What does it mean? It means sustain the note, hold the note for longer than the rating value. You've done notes and value. For the example we have here, for example, this is a a minim note, all right, and let's say it's a 4/4 time, and you are to hold this for 2 beats. Normally, if the fermata is not there, you have to hold that note for 2 beats. But because of the fermata, you may hold it for more than 2 beats. You may hold it for 3 beats, for 4 beats, depending on what the how the music flows. But you must hold it for more than 2 beats. So that is what fermata means. It means sustain the note for more than the original or written value. Then you have sometimes you have a very short greater than sign. So that sign there is not the same sign as your decrescendo or diminuendo. The decrescendo or diminuendo is longer, but this one is a short greater than sign. It means accent. It means emphasize that place. Play strongly. When you get to that place, emphasize it. Play it strongly. That is what it means. Then you have the repeat sign. When you have 2 dots, all the music between those 2 dots, you have to repeat them. For example, you have 2 dots in this one now. You could see the dots on the left hand and the dot on the right hand. So whatever music you have in between here, you have to repeat it twice. So when you see 1 dot, you have to ask yourself, where does the dot end, or where does it occur again? So all the music between those 2 dots, you repeat them again. Then when you see something like this we're talking about the Mazel's metronome, known as MM. It's simply telling you the tempo. What tempo should you maintain? So for example, if you see a crotchet is equal to 120, what does it mean? It tells you the number of beats per minute. That means in 1 minute you should have 120 beats. That's 60 seconds. So you can now divide how many beats you should have in 1 second. All right, but we do it in terms of minutes. So it means you are to the speed of that song should be such that you will get 120 crochet beats in 1 minute. So you may make it faster or slower to achieve that. So it gives you the tempo, and it's called the Mazel's metronome. And the last thing, I guess you've done this before in your when you are dealing with your time signature, is common time. 4/4 is called common time. So but sometimes they don't put 4/4, they just put a kind of a C. That C simply means common time. So anytime you see C in your time signature, right, it means 4/4. It's 4 crochet beats in a bar, 4 crochet beats per bar. And that brings us to the end of actually this is the last class for this grade. I guess you've gone through a lot, so it may be good for you to do some revisions and come back and end with this again. We've looked at the terms, we've looked at the signs, so we've been able to deal with all these things. Now the assignment I have for you is to download these 2 open source music sheets from GF Handel, and then highlight all the music terms and signs you can see and write out the meaning. If you can do that assignment, download it. We're going to put the link, because you may not be able to click on it in the video, but the link to this music sheet you can find it in the comment section. So download it, and please send your answers to the email we have provided for you. The email we have provided for you can also be seen in the comment section. When you send your answers to the email we have provided for you in the comment section, we will be able to reply and respond and tell you where you've gotten it right and where probably you need to take note of if you've not gotten it correctly. So that is all from me, and I hope that this lesson has proved useful. If you have any question based on terms and signs, please let's focus on the ones that I have just treated. So don't ask questions on something that is not in the one we've just treated, because this is the one you'll be examined on in grade 1. So if you have any question based on what we've just done today, so feel free to send me an email using the email that we've put in the comments section below, and definitely we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Till we meet again, do take care of yourself, and God bless you.